Kia ora, hello, hi, welcome. So nice to have you here. It's a new reading vlog for the week. That's what we're doing today. It is February 13th, day before Valentine's Day. Or if you do celebrate Galentine's Day, shout out to all my girls. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you, miss you. I for some reason this year am feeling very loved up. I am noticing that there's love in the air in my life, not just in a romantic sense, but I'm feeling it. So I thought it would be fun to read some books about love this week. If you know me, you know I'm not super into like romance novels or those traditional types of love stories. I definitely love a complicated relationship, fraught, human, things that feel real, you know? So this week is not going to be like, I'm not going to be reading an Emily Henry book. I've never read one, but no shade to that. It's just not my cup of tea. I can't really get on board with a lot of that stuff because I just am far too cynical. But I am going to read some books that show love in its different forms, maybe like different interpretations of what love is, and I think it's going to be really good. I have a stack of books here, not so small. I'm not going to read all of these, to be honest, but just wanted to have options to kind of pull from. I will quickly show you what I have here. First up we have Yes, Yes, More, More by Anna Wood. This is a recommendation from the lovely and beautiful and smart Alina from According to Alina on Instagram. She also has a really good YouTube channel which you should check out. I'll link it down below. This was a book that she recommended in a books for getting over a breakup. This was the dating again stage, so I'm hoping this is going to be joyful, light, hopeful read about love. It's a collection of short stories, and yeah, it does kind of sound like that, youthful and not jaded, so I'm looking forward to that one. Next, I have Post-Colonial Love Poem by Natalie Diaz. This is a collection of poetry written by an Indigenous California. So she is a Mojave, an enrolled member of the Gila River Indian tribe. So she writes a lot about kind of community and the love within that, and I think this would be like a nice little addition to that. I am interested in reading more about Indigenous communities outside of my own this year, so I think this will be good. Lie With Me by Philip Besson. This is a translated piece of literary fiction about young love, queer love, first love. Sounds like it's going to be really sweet and tender and probably heartbreaking, and potentially might even make me cry. Also translated by Molly Ringwald of 16 Candles fame. So interesting little fact about that. Simple Passion by Annie Ernaux. Tiny book that I am 100% going to read this week. This is a memoir about the 2-year affair that Annie Ernaux had with a married man, and it depicts it in this different way that affairs aren't often written about in literature, from what I've heard. I think it really talks about that all-encompassing kind of obsession that this relationship had, or she gave to it, and I'm all for that. I think this will definitely feed that different kind of look at love and the forbidden sides of it, perhaps. We have Conversations on Love by Natasha Lunn. And this is a collection of different essays about love written from a variety of authors. You have Dolly Alderton, Candice Carty-Williams, Lisa Taddeo, Diana Evans, Ellen de Botton, Esther Perel, Roxane Gay. This sounds really good. I've heard a lot of really good things about this. Maybe a bit of a heavy one to pick up, well, maybe a bit too much to kind of commit to this week, but this is definitely a book that I want to read soon anyway. All About Love by Bell Hooks. Again, this is another one that I'm like, not sure if I'll get to this week, but I just picked it off the shelf because of obviously the title. It's a very academic writing on different types of love, and as I know referenced in a lot of writing. Bell Hooks is a very smart woman from what I've heard, so again perhaps needs its own video or a dedicated week or couple of weeks for this, not like trying to fit it into a little reading vlog. And then the last one I have is Pop Song, Adventures in Art and Intimacy by Larissa Pham. This one I think I definitely want to read this week because it sounds like it fits the bill of like different writings about love and different ways to look at it. This was recommended to me by my friend Sophie. She was like, this might be a good book for you to read for this video, because I told her I wanted to read books about love this week. So I picked this up and it sounds great. It is a non-fiction piece of writing about, like it says, art and intimacy. It says, plumbing the well of culture for clues and patterns about love and loss, from Agnes Martin's abstract paintings to James Turrell's transcendent lightworks and Anne Carson's Eros the Bittersweet to Frank Ocean's Blonde. Pham writes of her youthful attempts to find meaning in travel, sex, drugs and art before sensing that she might need to turn her gaze upon herself. So yeah, personal kind of essays about art and culture, and I guess the ways that those have potentially impacted this writer. I believe she's written for Paris Review Daily, The Nation, Art in America and the Poetry Foundation. So yeah, I am really looking forward to this one and all these other books as well. Very excited. I think definitely these ones are going to be like ones that I'll try and read this week. I might start with the short story collection and see where we go from there. Actually, maybe I'll start with that. I don't know. I am working from home today because there is a cyclone weather warning out in Auckland. Yeah, it's not been too bad at the moment. There's been rain, there's been lots of wind, but everything seems to be okay so far. Kind of hoping that it's not as bad as they predicted it will be. But yeah, I'm working from home today, so we're gonna go do some work and then make some lunch and then read a book. Also, I did get my hair cut. Thank you for noticing. Yeah, I cut off all my hair on Saturday. I didn't do it myself. I went to my hairdresser. I paid him money because he's a genius and we love him. But yeah, cut it all off and I feel so good about it. I feel like myself now. Like, I always liked having long hair, but potentially it just never felt quite like me, and now I'm feeling reinvigorated to like do some fun things with my style perhaps, which has been very lacking as of late. I mean, she says as she sits here in her track pants and slippers and looks like this, but we're working from home. I will touch base when I have picked a book to start and started it. craziest night of high winds and rain. I did not sleep well at all. I stayed up quite late reading because I didn't think I'd be able to get to sleep, but eventually I was tired enough that I just needed to. It's Tuesday now, and I don't know why I'm whispering. I guess I've just woken up. I did finish this yesterday though, last night. I started and finished it, and it was really good. So it is her recollection of the time in her life when she is having an affair with a married man, but it is in particular more about the obsession, the feeling of longing that she has during that period. It's not really about the affair at all. It's about her using this writing as a way of understanding if what's happened to her can be looked at through quite a passive lens or through quite a non-judgmental lens from herself and also other people. And even then it's not really for other people. I really enjoyed it. I liked that she was able to write about this, I don't want to say taboo subject because I don't necessarily believe that, but she was able to write about it in a way that offered sympathy or wasn't led by judgment. I think that's really powerful that she has that ability to do that in her writing, and I really, really enjoyed it. Super short, it's like less than 50 pages, and not something that like I breezed through. I did stop and read and reread passages and really tried to understand what it was that she was saying because it felt important. So yeah, a very good first book about love. Although there's no mention of love specifically, I think it is described in a way that is using a lot of those emotional driving forces around love, and I really liked that. So good first start. I started this yesterday and it's going well. It's very lighthearted. I'm only 2 stories in, so not far enough, but they're kind of stories about, I can't quite pinpoint it yet, I don't think. The 2 stories so far have been quite different, but they have both been about friendship, female friendship, and both young friendship and young woman, and then also the other one was more newfound friendship and older woman. I didn't quite follow the second story. It was kind of a bit weird. These women are on a holiday together and they hear something in the woods and they go off and try to find it, and one of them starts hugging a tree. Yeah, it was kind of weird, and I was reading it in like peak wind last night and I don't think I was concentrating that hard. But we'll continue with that today. I think I might pick up the Natalie Diaz poems and read some of those today too. I don't know what's happening. I think I might be working from home today, but that's what I would prefer, to be honest. I feel like going out in this shite weather. Yeah, but I'm gonna read and have my tea. Happy Valentine's Day! I forgot this morning and I was half asleep talking to the camera that it is actually Valentine's Day today. So the whole reason for this vlog, reading about love, or different versions of it. I actually did get Rupert a Valentine's Day gift, and I think it's super cute. How cute is that? I mean, it's not anything crazy, but I just thought it was so cute when I saw it. And then this is coffee that you drink, so he you go. He won't get me a gift, but that's okay. It's not about gifts. It's about loving one another and being there in the ways that we need each other. Making tea again, and gonna do some work for a few hours. And yeah, that's the plan. Gonna eat this banana because I haven't had any breakfast and I'm starving. I'm going to do some work now. Morena! It is Wednesday. I didn't vlog much yesterday afternoon because I was very distracted. But there is also a cyclone that has been travelling down the east coast of the North Island, and yesterday it kind of wasn't near my hometown but was affecting my hometown in Hawke's Bay, and a lot of my friends and family live there, and communication was cut off for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have cell phone reception. Power's been cut off to thousands of people that might not come back for like weeks, maybe days for some people. But yeah, it was just really hard to concentrate when you know that that's going on in your hometown, and yeah, I couldn't really focus on work, and I didn't really feel like talking to the camera yesterday. I've also been feeling extremely homesick lately. It's been a long time since I have been back to the Hawke's Bay, and I just really miss it. Yeah, not in just the sense like I miss the people, but I miss the physical place itself. I have this intrinsic part of me that feels a deep connection to that place and that land. It's where I'm from. I whakapapa back there. It's just devastating to kind of see this happening to the actual land. Mars, can you please not? I'm trying to have a serious moment here, and you're ruining it by being a dog. Yeah, it was just really hard to kind of feel homesick and see this happening, and was just very anxious and not in the mood to vlog yesterday, so I didn't do that. Reading was a nice distraction though. I started Post-Colonial Love Poem by Natalie Diaz, kind of the perfect book for the way that I was feeling yesterday and the way I have been feeling about being homesick. Yeah, so these are poems written by Natalie Diaz. She is Indigenous to California. The Fort Mojave Indian village in Needles is where she grew up. So a lot of these poems have to do with deep hurt around colonialism and the kind of the effects that it has on those communities. I don't know why, but reading it yesterday just felt comforting, even though a lot of the subjects that are being talked about are quite heavy. They just have a sense of familiarity that made me feel slightly less homesick. So yeah, and I guess that's the kind of the point of wanting to read this week, because like I said, love comes in all different forms, and a love or a connection to a place I think is important in Māori culture, and is the feeling that I feel when I miss home is a deep love connection to that place, and what it signifies to me, what it means, the importance of it. So yeah, this kind of was a really nice distraction from that. Not a huge distraction, not enough to take me away from it, but enough for me to kind of sit in those feelings and think about them a bit more as well, which was good. I am continuing on with Yes Yes More More by Anna Wood. I'm about halfway, I think, and the short stories are okay. I didn't at first realize that there's like a reoccurring character, so I think it's the narrator. Her name is Annie. She is popping up in a lot of the stories, and so yeah, it's much about her and her life, and I guess the different stages. Everything is not written in chronological order, so it's kind of happening at jumped around stages in her life, which is confusing. I think you can read it without knowing that, though. I don't think it's a hugely important detail with this collection. They're very much about kind of those in between stages in your life. There's this definite transitional period happening for this character, and a lot of it is focused around like the fun and the joyous moments in life. So even though like I don't necessarily gravitate to that kind of stuff, it's been nice to read, and again a nice distraction for that, for me, I mean. So yeah, I'm going to keep going with this. I did think about DNFing it yesterday in the morning because there was one line that I read and I was just like, oh god, like seriously, but I got over myself because not everything has to be big brain, philosophical, deep, existential thought. Some of it can just be light, cheesy dialogue that people actually do say. So that's my reading update. We are going into work today, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to the distraction of getting out of the house. 2 days working from home. It's enough for me, thank you. So yeah, I'm going to finish getting ready. Okay. Hello, I haven't done any reading today. I read the start of one poem and then I had to go back to work. So I have nothing to report on the reading front, and I'm about to do my nails because I bought myself one of these UV lamps with some gel nail polish, and I really need to do something about my disgusting nails. I actually really just want to go to bed, but I think I should do this because my nails really need it. Okay. Wish me luck. Natalie, happy Saturday. Sorry about the backlighting situation at the moment, but I really wanted to sit in the sun because it's such a beautiful day today. And drink my terrible coffee that I made. Yeah, it's pretty awful. Yesterday was a really nice day. You would have seen some footage from that. Every year we do like a Waiheke staff day, usually at the beginning of the year when it's a bit quieter. We close the gallery for the day and we all go over to Waiheke Island and we swim, we eat, we relax. It's always lovely. The weather has been fantastic every time we've gone. Yesterday was no exception, although I have major regret about the things that I wore and the things that I neglected to take with me yesterday, i.e. I wore jeans and I forgot my togs, which, I just have regrets about my life decisions yesterday. In the morning when we arrived, we went and had breakfast at the cafe by the ferry. That was delicious, so nice to just sit and enjoy that after the ferry. And then we went to a pottery ceramics workshop, which was so much fun. It was nice to be able to do things with your hands. We learnt how to make pinch pots, which is like one of the basics of pottery ceramics making, I think. That was really fun. And then we got to paint a plate, ones they already had made because they were dry. And those are going to be glazed and fired and then sent over to us in like a couple of weeks. So I can't wait to see how everything's turned out. And then we had lunch at a place called Fenice, which is a little Italian cafe, lunch spot, restaurant. Really, really delicious. Great cocktails, great food. Nice place to just go and sink into for a couple of hours and just enjoy the island time. And then everyone else went swimming and I just sat on the beach. I did dip my toes in. I was so exhausted though when I got home. I just was maxed out with my like socializing people level yesterday. Like I could feel myself just going on the ferry. So yeah, I got home last night and I just went to bed pretty much. I had a shower. I washed my hair for the first time. I thought it was going to be a complete disaster waking up after going to sleep with wet hair, but it's actually, she was pretty cute. I fixed the front of it a little bit because those pieces were a little bit wayward, but I'm really happy with like the shape of it and how it looks when it's like my natural hair. I'm really thinking I need to start developing a proper like hair care routine though, which I've never ever in my life had. Like hair was always the last thing I thought about because I just was always told that I have thick, I have frizzy hair, and like no one ever taught me how to take care of it, which is frustrating. But yeah, I'm ready to do that for myself. I'm ready to have good hair in 2023. And this cut is definitely like the start of that, I think. Yeah, woke up this morning, Rupert's at work, got some time to myself this morning. The house is a mess, but you know what? I'm not going to think about that today. I'm just going to sit with my bad coffee and this book and see if I can finish it because I'm pretty close to finishing it. And it's a pretty quick read actually. So yeah, I'm going to do that now. And report back when I have finished it, hopefully. Kia ora everyone. Happy Sunday and happy end of this vlog. Yeah, I thought I would quickly wrap up this vlog and talk about the books that I've read, recommend some books about love that I think are a good alternative to traditional love stories, and then talk about some books that I want to read along those same lines. Yeah, this week has definitely not gone to plan like I thought it would. There's been a lot of things that have derailed me this week. I've been like emotionally exhausted this week in a way that I didn't quite realize until yesterday. While it has kind of changed the vibe of this video a little bit, it has definitely reminded me about the amazing community of people that I have in my life and how that is just as important as romantic love, which is very fitting for this vlog, which has been about books about love, but in another kind of sense. It feels fitting that we're ending on this note. A little bit sad, but overall loved and happy that I have my family and my friends are all safe, and grateful for everything that I have in my life this week, for sure. I finished UCS More by Anna Wood last night. It was good. It wasn't great. They're a collection of interconnected short stories. Oh, I've bent the pages over. This is a library book, so I don't want to ruin it. Interconnected short stories that follow a narrator throughout. You're kind of jumping all over the place though. They're not told in chronological order. You follow her throughout from like very early teenage years to maybe middle age. Get these small glimpses into moments in her life where she seems to have happy memories, but is definitely going through like this transitional change, or it feels like there is this change going on. Music definitely plays a big role in this book, and that is shown through its use of like memory, and it definitely brings like a nostalgic element to the book. It's that moment of when you hear a song and you're reminded of the first time you heard it, or the memories, the feelings, the periods in your life. It just always kind of brings those flooding emotions back, and it was something I definitely enjoyed in the book. I always enjoy when music is heavily referenced because it definitely evokes a lot of emotions in me if I have a connection to that song. So that was fun. They're definitely like easy, hopeful, joyful, lighthearted short stories. So if you're looking for something like that, I would recommend. Yeah, there was just something a little bit missing for me. I always find that with overly optimistic books that I have a hard time like fully grasping or connecting with them. I don't know, I guess that's just like the cynical part of me, but I enjoyed it. It was a nice kind of, like I said, lighthearted book to read throughout the week. Obviously I read Ernaux Simple Passion and I spoke about that. Just want to reiterate how good this was, how much I love Ernaux's ability to write honestly and without judgment for her own life and her own stories. It's amazing, and the way that she can convey that to the reader and force you to not judge either is just brilliant. Definitely an intense, claustrophobic story about obsessive love or lust and how it can alter you and change you for a small moment. Yeah, it was brilliant. And I'm still making my way through Post-Colonial Love Poem by Natalie Diaz. Some parts of it are definitely clicking for me, others not so much, and that's fine. I feel like the pieces that I have, the poems that I have read and felt connected to have really grounded me this week and been a real welcome thing to focus on. A lot of them have been strangely fitting, like one that I read last night, The First Water is the Body, is all about how rivers run through us, or rivers are a part of our body and how they run through us for an Indigenous people, or specifically for Natalie Diaz and the tribe she comes from, but also the importance of that in Māori culture, and that sense, that real sense of connection to place is definitely something that I am very much connecting with in this collection. Happy to slowly make my way through this and have read more poetry. So like I said, I didn't read as much as I wanted to this week. That's okay, but I have some books to recommend very quickly. Okay, first up, I don't have the book, but I want to recommend Writers and Lovers by Lily King. That is probably one of the only like traditional romance stories that I've read, novels that I've read like ever, and I really liked it. I liked the writing, I liked the love triangle, I liked the cheesy happy ending, I loved how kind of predictable it was. It was just that comforting type of predictable story that you want sometimes, and I really liked it, so would recommend. Another story that I feel like has a really optimistic happy ending, but is maybe depicts a few more non-traditional types of love or relationships, is Greta and Veldin by Rebecca K. Riley. This is written by a Māori New Zealand author set in Auckland. I also did a reading blog on this book if you want to go watch that. I'll link it somewhere. Yeah, depicts queer love, familial love, complicated familial ties, heartbreak, reunion. It's just so nice, and it has a very happy ending, so we love that one. Okay, then three others I have are Autobiography of Red by Anne Carson. This is a Greek myth retelling about a young red-winged monster named Geryon. It's a coming-of-age story. It's about queer love. It's told in the most beautiful, poetic prose. You'll fall in love with the writing, you'll fall in love with Geryon. He is so endearing and just sweet. You'll fall in love with the story. It's just love, love, love all around. And I haven't heard of anyone who has read this and not loved it. So, there you go. Next I have Dogs of Summer by Andrea Abreu. This is a sweet, naive depiction of friendship and the love that you have for someone at a young age, and the mischief you get up to, the way that you both learn about and are exploring and understanding the world around you. Yeah, this is just like what feels is like a pure type of love that isn't between a child and its parent. It's like friendship and pure and just sweet, and I love this book. And then lastly I have Cold Enough for Snow by Jessica Au. This is a really quiet novel about the relationship between a mother and a daughter, and the one thing I notice about this book is the way that love is shown in very quiet, unspoken ways. It's shown through forms of care, it's shown through understanding, it's shown through this very quiet, unobtrusive type of love, and it has a very gentleness to it that I really loved. So that's my last recommendation. And now I'm going to share some books that I want to read that explore different types of love. First up we have Aftermath by Rachel Cusk. This is actually a memoir about her divorce, which I think is a valid type of love story to mention. The unraveling of love, no doubt, with Cusk behind it. It'll be articulate and biting and just very searing, which I'm very much looking forward to. Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. This is a story about a marriage, and it's told from the perspectives of the two parties. So you get this two sides to the same story type situation, and I think this is one of those books that talks about the unraveling of a marriage, but not in a sense that it's come from an external force. It's all about the breakdown of the marriage from the inside, which I'm interested in. Notice how the two stories I've talked about so far, two books I've talked about so far, about the breakdowns of relationships. Okay, next up we have Conversations on Love by Natasha Lunn. I mentioned this book at the beginning of the video, and I now realise that the way I described it is completely wrong. I watched Hannah May's monthly wrap-up, and she read this book, and I realised, oh my god, I got it completely wrong. It's not essays written by the individual authors mentioned on the back. It's actually interviews or conversations that Natasha Lunn has had with these individuals about these topics and their kind of central themes of love within them. So that has made me even more excited for it, because it sounds so much more interesting. I would love to listen to this on audio, I think, as well. So yeah, very excited for that, and just wanted to correct myself with that one so that nobody would come for me. Okay, lastly I have Lynn Ullman's Unquiet, which is a book that I actually bought for this book. This physical copy here is the one that I bought for Rupert's father for Christmas, and he loved it. He has passed it on to me to read. I want to read it soon. But it's the story of a family told through interviews between a father and his daughter as he is getting older, and yeah, there's a lot of unearthing and discovery through these recordings and their conversations that they have, and yeah, sounds it's supposed to be very, very good, so I'm looking forward to reading that one very soon. That is the vlog. Books about love. Yeah, I'm sorry that this is like kind of gone a different path than I imagined, but I still stand by this vlog. I think it's gonna be good when I come to edit it. So yeah, I just appreciate everyone and their lovely messages and all your kind thoughts, and thank you for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and just a reminder to hug your loved ones. Bye bye.